stadium is sold out. The blackout is lifted, so we welcome all Manitoban fans from coast to coast to the premier matchup of Week 8. It's the Alouettes against the reborn Blue Bombers. It's Wendy's Friday Night Football.
Weather may be a factor tonight. It's currently 28 degrees, and there's a stiff breeze out of the south at about 26 kilometers per hour. They say that will maintain throughout the night, and we may see some showers as well.
It's gusting to 60 to top it off. First-year Alouette head coach Rod Rust has spent most of his life on the football sidelines. His first job as a head coach, 1953, at a high school in Toledo, Ohio.
Well, the pressure was on Dave Ritchie to start the 2001 campaign, and through it, he's led the Bombers to a 5-2 start and is one win away from tying the Montreal Alouettes, his old nemesis, in the Eastern Division.
And he hasn't really solved the Alouettes since taking over as the head coach of the Bombers. His record just 2 wins in 8 games. It will be windy tonight, and the kickers are ready for that. We've got Troy Westwood going up against Terry Baker, and the all-time greatest wind punter in the history of the CFL, Bob Cameron, for the Bombers.
Well, Montreal Alouettes won the toss and deferred their choice to the second half. The Bombers took the side of the field. They want the win in the second quarter.
There's Reggie Durden. He's taken one back on a kick return. So far this season, we're ready to get it underway. And here's the boot from Westwood. Into the breeze. It'll come down a little bit short. Bouncing in front of Durden. He lost it. Loose ball. Durden picked it up on the second bounce. And he's out to the 50-yard line. A little bit of an Alouette bounce there.
Well, it gets away with him. The ball kind of holds up there in the wind, and Durden struggles with it and then throws it right into Winnipeg territory. But you're right, he got a little bit of a lucky bounce there.
Anthony Calvillo is having a superb season. He's right there with the leaders in every passing category in the CFL so far. And look where he gets to begin, right out near the 50-yard line.
We talked about it in the pregame, but 6 times out of 7 drives to start games, the Montreal Alouettes have come away with majors. It's a huge drive for Winnipeg's psyche.
Alouettes usually score when they get this opportunity, and how about that? Touchdown on the very first play as Calvillo hooks up with Tyree Davis, 61 yards for the touchdown.
Unbelievable. In behind the coverage by 4 or 5 yards, and now in their last 7 games, the Montreal Alouettes, I should say, have scored a major in their first drive.
Not very often on the first play, though.
Not on the first play. Calvillo recognizes that Tyree Davis takes advantage of splitting the double team from Winnipeg. And just great speed. They've got the wind. They've got their first touchdown, and the streak continues.
Tyree Davis, a 61-yard touchdown on the first offensive play. And the Bombers have seen this picture before. When the Alouettes arrived here in Week 3, the stadium was also sold out. And Montreal scored on the first drive. Another touchdown after that, and led 23-0 before the Bombers got back in the game.
Well, you can see the protection up front gives Calvillo time to throw the football, and look how open Tyree Davis is. Marvin Coleman and Tom Europe caught way shallow. You know, you always wonder about the decision. You know, Dave Ritchie, now the Montreal Alouettes won the toss, so that gives Dave Ritchie the opportunity. Do you take the football to start the game, knowing that Montreal will take the win in the second quarter, or do you take the side of the football field to defend, getting the win in the second quarter? He took the latter.
Talk about quick starts. No one has done it better in recent memory in Canadian football. The Alouettes now have 52 points on their opening drives in 8 games.
The Bombers were downplaying it all week. They were saying, yeah, so what? There's a 60-minute football game, and if they score in the first couple minutes, what does that really matter? But you know it's got to be wearing on their minds. Montreal, off to a good start, have not played from behind yet this season.
They had the one loss against BC, but they had the lead in that game.
That's right.
And the Lions came back. This one is sailing right through the end zone. The breeze is a factor here tonight without question. The gusts are up to 60 and favoring the Alouettes here in the opening quarter.
Well, it's really gusting down there. It's coming from the south, and it's at the back of the Montreal Alouettes right now. So Kahari Jones will have to try and sustain drives when he has the football, when he's facing that strong wind.
Jones knows the Bombers need to get off to a great start against the CFL's best team. He knew it going in, and obviously response right now to that Montreal Alouettes 61-yard touchdown is key for the Bombers to get right back in this. Winnipeg beginning at the 25 after the kickoff sailed through the end zone. Jones with time, got it away. Blunt wrapped up at about the 31-yard line. The gain will be 6 yards. In week 3, the Bombers gave up too many early points and lost. Jones has a superb receiving corps led by Robert Garden in his second game. Milt Stegall is always brilliant. Troy Mills is listed as the starter and running back. Up front, this group has allowed a league-high 19 sacks. So the gain is 6. Make it 7 yards, 2nd and 3. That one looks to be batted, but it's caught on the far side by Gordon. Robert Gordon, first catch of the night.
Defensively for Montreal, led up front by Swift Birch on the end, who has 3 sacks so far in the season. Ed Fillion saying a few things in the paper this week heading into this game. And in the secondary, William Loftus emerging in the middle of that defensive backfield as a big hitter.
Gain was 11 yards for Robert Gordon. So the Bombers are up now at the Winnipeg 43 with a first down. Alouettes scored on the very first possession, very first play to lead it 7-0. A couple of yards there for Eric Blunt. Bombers use Blunt, Troy Mills, and Charles Roberts as their running backs.
Well, they do, and it's as important to this offense as Mike Pringle is to the Montreal offense. They do it a little differently. You mentioned with 3 different players with 3 different styles, but that running game equally is important.
Gain was 1, 2nd and 9. Jones has a target near side. It's Harlan Bruce, the third. Nice surprise for the Bombers so far this season, and he's just a little bit shy of the first down. We'll see where they spot it. Close to a 9-yard gain, and they'll take a closer look with the chains out on the field.
Kahari Jones doing a nice job coming in composed in this first drive after the big Tyree Davis touchdown. Putting together a couple first downs. Will be very, very close here as they measure it. A couple of chain links away.
Critical for the Bombers to move the ball even this far into the breeze. Here's what to watch for tonight.
Well, this is the #1 ranked defense that Winnipeg has right now, so the Montreal Alouettes have to have success on first down. Tyree Davis proved that they can. Winnipeg play the fourth quarter like they do the first. They have slow starts, but their fourth quarter, 75-7. They've outscored opponents.
And the final one, that's nothing new for my hometown, Winnipeg.
Yeah.
The breeze does have a tendency to gust around these parts. Third down. Bombers go gambling here. They need less than a yard for a first down to keep this drive going. Jones takes his time. Alouettes did not jump, but the Bombers get the first down regardless. Dave Ritchie was very fired up yesterday, wasn't he? He was excited to get out on the football field tonight.
Well, he loves the confidence of his team, and he knows that all season long they have come from behind to win games. They're 5-2, so he knows that Tyree Davis touchdown, yes, they got another good start to the game, but it's a lot of football to be played, and he has the confidence in his team after what they've done this year that they can come back.
Bombers just a win behind the Alouettes at 5-2. Winnipeg first down. Kahari Jones buys a little extra time. There's room to the near side for Jones to grab at least 5.
Milt Stegall was open to the front side of the player to Kahari Jones' left for the entire play. But Kahari Jones decided to go to the back side of the play, or his right. Didn't find an open receiver. If he looks to his left, which is the way he rolls, he looks over there briefly and then comes back. No one covered, or excuse me, everyone covered, so he takes off running.
He picked up 7. This is 2nd and 3 Winnipeg. Jones looks to put it up in a hurry again. Can't find anyone open. Now he does. He's got Stoddard, and that'll be enough for a first down.
Look at the time that he has to throw the football. Milt Stegall's working one-on-one with Mark Washington down the field. He looks to Milt Stegall initially. There's the one-on-one. Milt Stegall inside. Washington in great position. Right on his heels. sticks with him, and Kahari Jones had so much time to throw the football and finally found somebody.
For Stoddard, his 15th catch of the season. And up for the first down. Here's Blunt. Cut down right at the 45-yard line. Maybe a yard.
So far, the offensive line for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers doing a nice job of protection on that first down throw. A play, a go for Kahari Jones. Look at this. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000, 5 1,000. Anyone for a cappuccino? Here, I'm going to dump it off.
Second and almost 10 necessary. Jones had no one home at the 40-yard line, so that's where the Bomber drive will end. An important couple of first downs into the win for Winnipeg, however, but they could not respond to the touchdown or even get points on the board to Montreal's first score on the first play.
No, but they're facing that win, like you mentioned. They got some first downs, took some time off the clock. They'll get decent field position, provided there's not a big return here from Montreal, and they've got the best punter in the game kicking into the win.
Bob Cameron, 20 years as a Blue Bomber, averaging 41.9 per punt. His average will go down tonight, at least in the opening quarter. That's Reggie Durden, special teams player of week 6, back to wait for Cameron's kick.
Well, I talked to Bob Cameron about the win before the game, and of course he knows it better than anyone here in Winnipeg Stadium. He says sometimes when it's in your face, you can actually use it to your advantage. If you kick the ball low enough, the wind will swirl. It'll come from the south, over top the stadium, hit the back stands, and swirl down low and go back north. So he says sometimes you can get in that north jet stream, and I'm going, you figured all that out?
He's a meteorologist.
Oh, yeah.
Time. And flags again. Now look at this kick that Cameron did get away, which won't count.
Oh, he
nailed
nailed
it right down inside the 10 into the breeze.
Well, he got into the northern jet stream, the lower jet stream that swirls around here.
Number 48, still third down.
So back-to-back penalties against the Bombers, costing a total of 10 yards. So that first punt by Cameron will just be a practice. But Durden moves up 5 yards. Standing near his 15 now. Cameron back near his 40. Not as good unless he gets a good bounce. Durden lost the ball. Alouettes get it right back. There were markers down. A 25-yard punt that time for Cameron. We'll check out the penalty infractions and get back to Winnipeg in a hurry. It's the Alouettes on top of the Bombers, 7-0 already. Anthony Calvillo, perfect so far tonight, 1 for 1 and a 61-yard touchdown. Alouettes begin at the 35. Pringle's first carry. Or Thomas Haskins, I should say, number 4. Calvillo has 2 key receivers in Jock Climby and Ben Cahoon. And he also has the guy who has the touchdown. Running back Mike Pringle is usually the starter, but Haskins got that call. And up front, a couple of All-Canadians in Pierre Verscheval and Brian Chew.
See Mike Pringle moving up to hear the audible from Anthony Calvillo. That's how loud the crowd is.
Calvillo with lots of time again. He fired low and away.
Defensively for Winnipeg, pressure always on the front 7 when you're playing Mike Pringle. The linebacking corps is led by Lamar McGriggs. But this is a defense that relies on all 12 to stop the run, and their leading tacklers are Jerron Bolden and Marvin Coleman, both with 25 on the season.
2 and out for Calvillo and the Alouettes that time. Terry Baker steps in, his first punt.
Yeah, they let the linebacker took Haskins, I think. Yeah.
Climby was Calvillo's target on that last pass. Big charges on Baker, and he sails one down to the 20-yard line. This is Charles Roberts. Done a nice job for Winnipeg, but it was well covered by the Alouettes there. 52 yards on the punt by Baker, 8 on the return. That's great to see. Another sellout. Winnipeg, second of the season. Let's go down to Greg Musselman.
And I'm with the general manager of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, Lyle Bauer. Lyle, you got to be excited about the crowd. Maybe not the start for your football team, but this is exciting news for Winnipeg. 2 sellouts in the same season.
Well, it is extremely exciting to have 2 sellouts in 4 games, and certainly welcome all of our Manitoba viewers throughout the province who finally get to see their football team on television. But it's great with the blackout lifted. We are too hospitable, though, to this Montreal football team twice in a row now, so we're going to have to get some work done.
Of course, it's not a team that you want to get behind early, but nevertheless, you know, you've got to be happy with the way things have turned around for this franchise. I mean, on the field and off the field, Lyle.
Well, you know, the biggest key to that is our fans have afforded us the opportunity to have the faith and give us a chance. And we've brought in some players. We're committed to making this organization better on and off the field and making strides. And it's a big test tonight for us against virtually the best team in the league.
Lyle Bauer, thank you very much.
Thanks, Greg.
Back up to John and Glenn.
Lyle Bauer used to play for head coach Dave Ritchie a while ago. Now he's his boss. Nice pass on the far side. Previous play to Robert Gordon for a 16-yard gain.
Robert Gordon will be a big part of this offense as he comes in his second game of the season. Had a touchdown in game 1 in Hamilton a week ago. He'll play both inside in the slot back position and out at wide receiver where they have him lined up right now.
Eric Flood for a couple of yards. 2nd and 8 Winnipeg at the 45. Jones stands in. Complete right at midfield. And fired to the turf.
Oh, yeah. Here they go.
And there is Stiegel is tossed to the turf.
Game on, baby. Here we go. They don't like each other. Think back to the East Final a year ago. And look, Stiegel.
The final game of the regular season last year when Stiegel was tossed out for dancing. And Kelly Wiltshire got tossed out of the game as well for cutting in on the Bombers celebration.
Just runs the curl, and it's those two in the battle again. That's Kelly Wiltshire tackling Milt Stiegel. Wiltshire was in that fight at the end of the regular season a year ago with him.
Winnipeg first down. Jones looks deep. Oh, almost a miracle catch. One hand on it for Jamie Stoddard. And he's made some big plays for the Bombers. Got a chance to play in the early part of the season as a starter when Robert Gordon wasn't around. Now he's part of the 5-pack in there.
Number 88, look at him go right down the middle of the field right here. And I think Mark Washington, 23, just gets a hand on him as the ball's in the air right there. Just enough to slow him down for a second. He had to reach out with one hand.
2nd and 10, Stoddard. Flank to the far side. Jones standing in, near side. Robert Gordon up, he's got it. There's the catch. Huge play. This place is alive now. 22 yards for Gordon.
What a throw by Kahari Jones, though. He's throwing into that strong wind here in Winnipeg. That's a long way to throw the football. Wide field, out pattern to the sideline. He had to throw it up over an offensive lineman and right in the hands of Robert Gordon, who gets that 1 foot inbounds.
Gordon does make a difference. 3 catches already, but he takes a lot of heat off Stiegel.
Well, you can't double team Stiegel now.
Jones stands in, takes off, and he's taken down after a gain of maybe half a yard. Grabbed from behind by Tim Fleischer.
See, just a 4-man rush from the Montreal Alouettes. That's 4 on 5. That's why you got to give full credit to Swift Birch, who is the guy who flushes Kahari Jones out of the pocket. They had 1 extra blocking up front, and Tim Fleischer and Swift Birch get the job done.
Jones looking at 2nd and 10. At the Alouettes 33, Bombers going into the breeze. Jones stands in, fires, catch made, near side. Lots for the first down, but they say it was out of bounds.
Yeah, saying he's out. Kahari doesn't like it.
Well, Marcus Howell suggesting he was pushed out. Here's a closer look.
And that would make a difference if, in fact, he was pushed out, because if you're pushed out and the official decides that's what happens, that you wouldn't have gone out on your own, then it's a catch. They were right there, and there was two of them.
I think they got it right. So Westwood is in. Good on 14 of 22. That's about 63%. Won the game last week for the last play field goal. Zeros on the clock, and Westwood put it through for the Bombers' 5th win of the year.
Got to keep that ball down. Remember, Kahari Jones, the quarterback, is the holder. Not that low.
No. Durden in the end zone. He'll give up a single point. Well, he hammered that one. Might have lifted his head. It was a knuckleball, wasn't it?
Yeah, it looked like he punched at it and just never hit it cleanly.
Again into the breeze, and he tried to keep it down, so the Bombers settle for one. Well, if you joined us about a minute late, you missed the first touchdown. We had barely begun to introduce the game when Anthony Cavillo hooked up on a 61-yard strike.
Well, there was the kickoff, and then there was this. Cavillo to Tyree Davis behind everybody to open the scoring in this game.
So the Owls are 7 for 7. 7 for their last 7 games, scoring in their first drive. That time on the very first play. This is Haskins. And Bolden got over to run him down from behind. Jerron Bolden, who is definitely one of the best in the league. Number 21 for the Bombers.
Arguably the best cover man, and he's always asked to cover the best receiver the opposition will bring into Winnipeg Stadium. And tonight, however, because of the balance in the receiving corps with Montreal, Bolden will play a regular sort of nickel position. That's why he was out there running after Thomas Haskins.
Haskins was limited to a 1-yard gain, 2nd and 9 for Cavillo now. To the near side, Climby was the target, and Bolden and Climby got tangled up. Climby ended up on the turf. I thought there might have been an infraction there, but Jock didn't seem to protest too loudly.
No shot. See, this is Bolden's normal position inside. There's Climby. He's just going to work to the outside. Watch him get right in the hip pocket of Climby. A little pull there. Got away with that one. And they were both fighting back and forth. No call. Let the players play. That's what I say.
Oh, I agree with that.
Yeah.
But there was a little hand-to-hand combat down there.
That's what it's all about.
Terry Baker is in again. Al's 2 and out again. Charles Roberts back near his 20-yard line. A little heat on Baker. He got it away. And there'll be no play for Roberts. Bombers will begin around the 30 after a 45-yard punt with a win by Terry Baker. And he's had a little experience kicking with the breeze as a former teammate of yours in Saskatchewan.
Playing in his 250th game in the Canadian Football League is Terry Baker.
What's interesting is Bob Cameron is playing in his 365th game tonight. So Baker's got a ways to catch up to him and a few other greats.
Milt Stegall has a little experience, not quite that much. He's in his 7th year. He's like a raw rookie compared to the two kickers.
Bombers from the 29, first down, trailing by 6 at 7-1. Eric Blunt has room. Nice run by Blunt. He'll have a first down out at the 40.
The running game I mentioned early, equally important for Winnipeg as it is for Montreal with Mike Pringle. They do it by committee, but here's how simple it is. You see Blunt's going to take off to the outside and find a hole. I mean, Eric Blunt is 1/3 of this running game, but together, it's a very important element of this offense.
Blunt and Mills and Charles Roberts are the running backs employed by the Bombers. Stegall, big catch, right at midfield. Milt Stegall in front of Alfonso Roundtree. The gain is 13.
Well, and that good running game slows down the defensive pass rush, and it allows things like this to happen. There's Milt Stegall. He sneaks out of the backfield to get a little momentum down the field and find a hole.
So that would be Stegall sneaks or Stegall sneaks.
Stegall sneaking.
13 yards the gain. Bombers at midfield. Near side toss. It's Stiegel again. Almost got away from Roundtree, who grabbed him by the mask. Flags are everywhere.
Well, it looked like Stiegel was going to get up swinging, but he did the right thing to go back to the huddle. Kind of motioned to Roundtree that it was a stupid play. It's going to add on yardage, but he didn't come back and retaliate. Because this is an obvious face mask. Roundtree throws him down with the face mask. Stiegel right on the inside, running the out.
Major foul, face mask, Montreal, number 37.
Right after, I thought he was going to come back and maybe throw the football, but he changed his mind, kept his composure, went back to the huddle. We'll watch closely between Alfonso Roundtree and Milt Stiegel. Great matchup here tonight. Pressure's on Roundtree.
Particularly on this turf in Winnipeg. Bombers get a first down. Extra yards added on. Gordon in the end zone. Can't make the catch. Coverage from Irv Smith just a little too tight.
Well, again, I like what the officials are doing because they're consistent on both sides. Jerron Bowles didn't get called, and neither will this play right here. This is Robert Gordon going down the sideline one-on-one on Irv Smith. Let the guys play. In other words, there's going to be some hand fighting, a little hand-to-hand combat. Let them play. Irv Smith has the right to his ground.
And that's how the officials saw it, and correctly so down there on that play. From the 28, it's 2nd and 10. Kahari Jones pops once. Almost down. There's a flag down. Jones has Stiegel. Interesting play. He'll have enough yardage for the first down. However,
well, the fact that Kahari Jones continued with the play is important because they do have first down yardage. Now it's likely coming back.
Holding, Winnipeg, number 59. Second down, repeated.
Brandon Dyson gets called on the holding, but without the first down yardage, you can decline the penalty. Now you're kicking a field goal into the wind. With the first down yardage, Montreal's forced to take the penalty, and now Winnipeg Blue Bombers have another crack at it.
Well, they got another down, but it'll be 2nd and a bunch. Net lost 22 yards on the play. So it's 2nd and 20. Back now at the Alouette 38. Jones wants to get rid of it in a hurry. Short of the first down, but not by much.
Again, Kahari Jones getting good time up front from an offensive line that's pumped up for this matchup, especially with what Ed Fillion's been saying throughout the week about this team.
Marcus Howell here.
Lots of time, a nice throwing lane. That one's coming right through the cheesies into your couch. Oh, excuse me, only Duthie's eating the cheesies. But see, the play before that where Kahari Jones was second effort gets first down yardage on the holding call. He now has an opportunity, and they're going to gamble on 3rd and 1 here.
Well, it was a nice play by Howell to get an extra little bit there. So this is the right call here. 3rd and 1. You're down by 6. You're going against them. You're going into the wind. Oh. Scatty, but it worked.
First down.
Everyone in Winnipeg Stadium took a deep breath when Kahari Jones pulled that one off. But he gets the first down. The Bomber drive will continue. 2nd quarter coming up. Great to see the enthusiasm back in Winnipeg. It's been a bit of a dry spell for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and their fans. They lost interest in the final years of the Cal Murphy era, and then Jeff Reinbold arrived, and things were tumultuous, to say the least. But anyway, everyone's talking football back in Manitoba. This is a great drive for the Bombers. It began at the 29.
Well, they dominated time of possession in the first quarter. That was a quarter they were against the win.
Nice fake by Jones. Didn't fool Birch all the way. Intercepted far side. Picked out by Stephen Reed, number 47.
Kahari Jones saw the coverage in behind the receiver. He did not see Stephon Reed coming underneath the receiver. Stephon Reed's going to cover a lot of ground. He's going to be to the left of your screen. Kahari Jones, C47. Now watch how he flies underneath. Kahari Jones never sees him sneak underneath the receiver, who was Troy Mills. That quiets down the crowd in a hurry.
Stephon Reed with 27 tackles, a couple of sacks, and had 1 interception to his season total. One of 3 linebackers in an all-Canadian set for the Alouettes with Kelly Wilshire and Glenn Young and Stephon Reed. Alouettes have the ball back and begin at the 8-yard line. Mike Pringle hasn't been used a great deal thus far.
You're back home. That's for you, Savannah. I love you, baby. Coming home soon.
When you look at the stats from the first quarter, I'll tell you one thing that stands out in a big way, and that's time of possession. Winnipeg Blue Bombers dominated 12 minutes. They had the wind in their face. Montreal didn't take advantage of it. Now Winnipeg has the wind at their back.
Well, Montreal messed up with that first possession of only 6 seconds.
Yeah.
Cavillo on second down. He's got Thomas Haskins, and he'll have enough for the first down. Needed about 7. Cavillo has been very cool so far this season. He has really taken a leadership role with this Montreal team over the last 2 years. Very efficient. He's tough-minded. Good arm. Lots of nice things to say about Anthony Cavillo, and he's right there with the top quarterbacks in the league in all the passing categories.
Well, I learned from one of the best in Tracy Ham.
1st and 10, Montreal. Pringle slowed down again.
I talked
Only
to
about 3.
John, I talked to Lamar McGriggs prior to this game starting, and he told me he wants to see Mike Pringle all game long. I said, did you know there's going to be probably rainstorms later in the game? And he said, I hope it pours. That means they'll have to run the ball to Pringle. That means we'll stop Pringle. They are fired up about number 27 right now. And look at the eyes. You can see it in Lamar McGriggs.
Well, the Bombers held Pringle to just 74 yards in their loss in week 3. And to some teams, that's at least a moral victory. The Bombers didn't win the game, however. Calvillo on the run. He has Jock Climby, who has a first down out near the 35.
And this is one thing that concerns Dave Ritchie, is Anthony Calvillo running with the football to buy himself some time. In week 3, when these two teams played against each other, Winnipeg went down 23-0, and a lot of the early plays were just like this one. Calvillo got outside of containment, and the coverage broke down when he did. They got behind early and couldn't catch up. This was a concern for Ritchie coming in.
Alouettes have a couple of first downs after the turnover as they go into the win for the first time. Here's the heat. Cavillo still got it away. No one was home.
That's what he learned from Tracy Ham right there.
Getting rid of it like that, going backwards.
An incomplete pass is not necessarily the end of the world. No one was open. He had the rush right in his face. Why take the big loss? Why force something down the field? Throw it out of bounds. Tracy Ham taught him that.
The offensive coordinator has done a pretty nice job, hasn't he? Got lots of tools to work with. Tough fake, Cavillo. Look deep. Coleman was covering on Tyree Davis.
Got away with a little hold there on Tyree Davis. But Calvillo had the time to throw the football. And Big Neil Fort, working on those ends, provides the time. Look at 66 on the outside on Brechterfield. Brechterfield's just jumping up and down because he can't get any penetration. And down the field, I thought that maybe Marvin Coleman this time got away with a little bit of a hold. But I love that the refs are letting him play.
Baker is in. First punt into the wind will go to Roberts. Charles Roberts standing back near his 40. Comes up a little short. Marvin Coleman, who's run back a few in his day, comes up with it, draws a flag, so the Bombers come out of this decently well. They'll start the next drive on the Montreal side of midfield. It's a lot more fun in Bomberville these days. Lots to cheer about. For the Blue Bombers, challenging for first in the East. Tomorrow night, CFL Live from Toronto and Vancouver.
Saskatchewan, Toronto, and big game on the West Coast as well. Calgary trying to catch the Lions. Some mudslinging going on in that one, too, all week long.
Look forward to both games tomorrow night on TSN. Just missed. And a big hit.
Well, I talked about incompletions probably not being a bad thing all the time. Well, that's one of them. Charles Roberts catches that. It's a 6-yard loss. Kelly Wiltshire was right there, number one, to the left of your screen and read it all the way.
That's the real meaning of one-on-one.
There you go.
Number one Roberts, number one Wiltshire, and Roberts of the Bombers got the worst of it. Second and 10, Winnipeg. Just outside the Montreal 50. Jones stands in. He was intercepted. No, Wiltshire scooped it off the turf. And that was awfully close.
Well, full credit to this Montreal defense. Right now, Winnipeg has the wind at their back, and the coverage downfield is too tough for Kahari Jones. Look at this. He can't find him. He's got a throwing lane there initially. Then the pressure arrives, and now he's in trouble.
Jason Richards had a hold of one leg.
But the coverage downfield is really stopping Kahari Jones from the quick release.
What you said about Cavillo, though, could apply right there to Kahari Jones. Maybe should have just swallowed that one or fired it into the turf. He got away with one there.
So Bob Cameron wants to angle this one and get the field position. The single doesn't help them as much as good field position would.
Cameron from his 45. Reggie Durden awaits.
It's almost
a little
perfect.
deep.
Almost perfect.
Well, it is perfect.
It's perfect.
It is on the 1-yard line. I thought he was going to roll it through the end zone, but it went out at the 1. The perfect kick from the KG veteran. Well, it's not very often that we highlight a punt, but this one, well, it was literally perfect from Bob Cameron.
Look at the football right here on the Bob Cameron punt. Follow its path down. He couldn't have put this in a better spot. One bounce, 1-yard line, and he has got Montreal backed up.
And the fans in Winnipeg excited about that and possibilities from here. Cavillo deep in his end zone. Look long.
Oh, boy. Tyree Davis had a step. He's the guy who opened the scoring in this game, got in behind Marvin Coleman, and that time he was there as well.
Actually in behind both those Blue Bombers who were covering upfield. It was Europe and Marvin Coleman.
Lamar McGreg's and Rector Field on the late run, and that's a good throw by Calvillo. He threw that about 50 yards into the wind with Rector Field hitting.
So second and 10, the Alouettes on the 1.
But 49 yards would have been a completion. 50 incomplete.
There's the heat again. Calvillo running for his life, just got it away. Desperation, he had to put it into the turf or give up 2.
Rylan Wickman almost had a chance at it. And Noki Breckerfield again providing the pressure.
No.
The Winnipeg Blue Bombers send the blitz, John. Look at number 19. He knows his job is contained. He got tied up initially, but great speed to the outside. And now he's running down Calvillo, and that throw very nearly intercepted by Rylan Wickman.
Later in the game, giving up 2 points might be considered a possibility, and I'm not so sure the Alouettes really thought about giving the safety up there.
No, but they may now. They will now. Rectorfield just getting his wind over there.
Well, when you look at it, kicking it out of the end zone, it puts the Bombers in field goal range already.
Immediately.
Without a run.
You know, I'd be shocked if Montreal kicked the ball out of the back of their end zone right now. Rod Russ talking about coverage in the last play defensively. I'm sure he's already made the call to Terry Baker to say, go ahead, take as much time as you can, give up the 2 points, and we'll give them the ball in better field position. And that's good news for Winnipeg fans as Noki Breckerfield walks off the field. Back-to-back pressures from him.
Rod Russ enjoys every minute of the game on the sidelines. It's the pregame that he'd had a little trouble with when we chatted tonight. A couple of hours before game time, he's a little tense and nervous. This is the fun time. Baker is back.
See, Terry Baker, first of all, he takes all the time there. He'll take the penalty because they can't go back any further.
Time count violation. Montreal, number 10, still third down.
They can't go back any further. So that there's no time left to get the time count violation. And now he'll give up the safety. And the crowd's becoming more and more of a factor. They're getting louder and louder as this game goes on. One guy wants to cheer, he just got 2 beers in his hand.
Well, he can yell, he just can't clap. Well, he knocked a couple more off, but...
Well, with Winnipeg, with the wind at their back, you want to take as much time off the clock as you can when you're facing it, and that was 3 extra seconds Terry Baker bought right there. Well, Montreal did their first series magic with the 1-play touchdown, but since then, Winnipeg Blue Bomber defense has shown why they're ranked #1 against both the run and the pass.
Well, these two teams don't like each other from a movie or 2 ago. It was when Dave Ritchie was not offered a new contract with the Alouettes back in 1998.
Well, it doesn't help that all the games they've played, at least the last 4, have been close games. Total of 14 points separating the 2 teams through those 4 games. Think of that Eastern final a year ago. Winnipeg Blue Bombers actually had a 13-0 lead in that game. Ended up losing 35-24, but they had the early lead, let it slip away in Montreal. And boy, they'd love to host the game this year, wouldn't they?
The Alouettes? Oh, baby.
No, yeah, I'm talking about that guy, Dave Ritchie.
Bombers? Oh, baby.
Yeah. Well, I mean, of course, all teams want to host the final, but this is a guy that would love to knock off Montreal and host the final.
Well, and if the Bombers are going to finish first in the CFL East, this is a critical game for Winnipeg to stay even with Montreal in the season series and in the standings. If the Alouettes win this one tonight, they'll have a 4-point advantage, and they'll have the season series with the Bombers locked up.
That's right.
So, important game for both teams, but rather critical for Winnipeg with a hope of winning the East. A little mix-up between Roberts and Blunts, and here's Eric Blunt ready to go.
John,
and that cost about 20 yards.
I was going to say it's about 20 yards in field position. Most important thing for returners in a win game is to catch the ball. You got to try and field the football, and they can't decide. You see both Charles Roberts and Eric Blunt, who was going to take it, so they hesitated.
Well, it was Larry and Curley down there, and if Mo had been around, he might have grabbed it and done it right.
Well, if Mo was there, they might all collide and it'd still be rolling.
And Mo doesn't return kicks very often.
No, Mo Onibi is an offensive lineman and won't return kicks in this game.
Bombers forced to begin at the 20. Roberts, the ball carrier, Charles Roberts.
Well, Winnipeg has not started games quickly all season long, and they didn't again here in this one tonight. First possession, a punt, and it hasn't got much better after that. You know, and it's right now that they have the wind at their back, and they haven't been able to take advantage of it at all. 2 points on a safety is a victory for Montreal, because the second quarter and the fourth quarter are the long quarters. You know, but at this point, Dave Ritchie cannot abandon his game plan offensively, which involves the running game.
Well, the other positive for the Bombers, there are several this year, obviously, but the Bombers have been able to come from behind and win games. and get back into football games this season. A year ago, the Bombers had 1 win after 7 weeks. This year, they have 5. That's quite a turnaround. Hang in right after football in Winnipeg for Sports Desk stories, scores, and highlights with Dutchie and Dan.
They always know when we have to fly to another city the next morning. They bring in the plane for us. We're heading to Vancouver.
First thing in the morning. There's my row W, right?
You're in row W.
I'm in row W.
That's business class right there. If you want to get back and back, you're over here on the wing in that area.
And Chopper's right back at the very tail there, I'm guessing.
Are you talking about Paul Hemming, our director, who hasn't been bumped up once all year? That's too bad.
Kahari Jones on first down, almost intercepted. Almost gift wrap to Mark Washington. Looking for Robert Gordon, I believe. At least he was the closest Bomber receiver.
Now, heading into this game, after 7, Kahari Jones had not thrown but 8 interceptions all season. He's thrown 1 to Stephon Reed. That one should have been intercepted. Kahari Jones maybe getting a little anxious with the wind at his back and trying to force things that maybe aren't there.
Durden is deep for the Alouettes as the Bombers messed up the return and then couldn't get anything going after that. Here's a boomer from Cameron. Durden. Reggie Durden found a little seam and turned it into a nice return of 14 yards. So the Alouettes regained some field position.
You know, it's interesting, in that first quarter, Montreal didn't have the ball a whole lot, but they didn't use Mike Pringle basically at all in the first quarter. And when you got a guy with the stats and the background that Mike Pringle has, take a look at his touchdowns. Getting closer and closer to George Reed. There he is.
Slashing out the left side, Mike Pringle. And that's his longest run of the night. Just 3 points on the board since the opening play touchdown from Cavillo to Tyree Davis.
Well, 4 times in his career, Mike Pringle has scored 4 touchdowns. So we just saw him getting closer to George Reed. But it's never been against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. And that means 4 touchdowns in 1 game.
Second down and 4. Nice toss. Cahoon makes the catch, his first of the night. Ben Cahoon, outstanding last week. Here's Greg.
Thanks, John. Anoki Breckerfield was injured on that last series for the Bombers on defense. The fine defensive end out of Oregon State landed on the right shoulder, kind of funny. He said to me that he was going to go back in there, but he's obviously in some pain. They've iced it up, but he does say that he plans to get back in the game later on. Back to you.
Wayne Weathers will play on that defensive end for Anoki Breckerfield, but he had a good start to this game.
Alouettes threatening again from the 45, first down. It's Pringle. And better than 5 yards for Pringle, who averages 5.2 every time he gets his hands on the ball out of the backfield.
Dave Ritchie said that Mike Pringle, he respects his abilities, but one thing he knows that his defense will hit him. And I mentioned that to Pringle, and he went, oh, well, there's a surprise. A defense that wants to hit me?
Second and 5. It'll be a first down for Thomas Haskins inside the Winnipeg 30. So Cavillo has engineered a nice drive here.
Well, Thomas Haskins is catching passes for 2 these days. He has a new son, Thomas Jr., born this past week.
Arrived just after the Toronto game.
So congratulations to the Haskins family.
Just one more page from Glenn Suter's baby book.
Uh-oh. Oh, what a move.
And he brought it back. Flags go down at the 40.
What a move by Calvillo. Seth O'Reilly has great speed. He comes off this side of your screen. Watch the move by Calvillo right here. Oh, little fake there, and O'Reilly goes down. He's got to go collect his clothing after that one.
What have we got?
Holding, Montreal, 67. First down repeated.
Asking you shall receive. It's a holding call.
Bombers are really high on this guy, Seth O'Reilly.
Well, he's not big at about 240 coming off the edge, but he uses great leverage to his advantage. In other words, he's smaller than most tackles, smaller than most offensive linemen, but he gets up underneath them, and he has tremendous arm strength. Look at the size of his left arm. When he gets the leverage on him, he uses that to his advantage and can move people.
First and 20, Calvillo got it away. Haskins has the ball, looks to turn it into a first down. Can he get there? He's very close. And I do believe that that will be a huge play. Not quite enough for the first down, but thought-provoking anyway when you look at where they're going to spot the ball.
Seth O'Reilly came off the edge. See number 9. He comes off the edge real quickly. Look at this. Right up in there, and Calvillo has to throw it over him to Thomas Haskins, who does the rest on his own. Always.
Nice block by Pierre Vercheval to spring Haskins for the rest of the yardage. So it's 2nd and 2. Big Bruno Happel up and over, should have the first down. Anthony Calvillo is a very patient quarterback these days. Remember the early days in Las Vegas, and then the time in Hamilton where he was really still learning the game.
And was basically a tackling dummy. I mean, that's what he was in Hamilton. He got hit so hard on every play in Hamilton that year.
Well, he was a starting quarterback in this league at 21, which is a little bit young.
Well, he had the fast break offense when they were the Las Vegas posse. Tamanik Vanover.
Nice fake by Calvillo there on first down. The touchdown toss. Coverage just a little too tight by Harold Nash. Alexander was the target. 3 minutes to go, lots ahead at a sold-out Winnipeg Stadium tonight. It's the Owls and the Bombers. It's a battle for first. We're back in Winnipeg. The Bombers and the Alouettes. Montreal threatening at the half. This is a threatening group here.
Well, yeah, with the newcomer. Look at the guy at the bottom right-hand corner there. You know, he reminds me of a favorite movie star, Freddy Krueger. We keep killing him. He keeps coming back. Except for Krueger's much better looking than him.
Has everybody got the same haircut on that set?
Well, they got a bargain.
Calvillo missed Haskins. Thomas Haskins got his fingertips on it, couldn't bring it down.
They go to the same haircut, or they just same barber and just hand them they have to take turns who brings the bowl.
Well, you save money.
Well, absolutely. Terry Baker get his first chance to put some more points on the board for Montreal. A great drive from Anthony Calvillo.
Yeah, really
in his face. He had mixed things up well with the run and the pass.
Took some time off the clock. Baker puts it through, and he moves ahead of Trevor Kennard into 6th place on the all-time list.
The former Bomber.
So 2 points up.
Just a couple of thousand behind old Louis. A couple thousand. That's what, 15 years or so?
Well, at least 12. Baker's looking good. So maybe he's got 12 years left. Well, impressive drive for the Alouettes to add to the lead. It's 10-3.
Well, and you know what it did too? It took the crowd out of it. All of a sudden, they're quite quiet here. And
interesting chess match unfolding on the field here in Winnipeg. Kahari Jones on first down. Got it to Charles Roberts. He'll turn this into a first down. Nice little spin move down there to get away from Mark Washington. Roberts has 10. He's exciting.
Gets a little help up front. Some nice blocks at the point of attack. Mike Sutherland, Mo Eluanibi holds off the rush along with the fullback Wade Miller on Swift Birch. There's the first missed tackle. That was Birch. There's the second, and there's the first down.
Charles Roberts has the first down. Kahari Jones looks to the near side and then back again. Stoddard the catch. And good effort after making it as he froze Stefan Reed there.
Kahari Jones wanted Robert Gordon, John, and he was well covered down the field by Eric Reddick. Watch Kahari Jones look for the big strike. He wants the big one right here. Go deep, go deep. No, I got to dump it off. The coverage was too tight on Robert Gordon.
9-yard gain. Second down. And he missed Brad Miller, but Brad Miller hits the turf, hammered from behind. Or Wade Miller, I should say.
And it looks like Dave Ritchie will not gamble, and the fans here want him to.
Well, it's a tough call. Third down,
it's
a yard to go right at midfield.
It's a long yard. They gambled once down in Montreal territory and got it on an option from Kahari Jones. They'll punt it this time.
Cameron's kick inside the 10. Nash. What a great tackle upfield by Harold Nash on Reggie Durden. A 5-yard return, a 46-yard punt, and Nash just cut the legs out from underneath number 30.
Haven't heard a whole lot of Jock Clammy yet tonight, but you know you will before it's over because he's having a great season.
He dropped one in the game against the Argonauts week 1 and was so upset at himself he went out and caught 7 in a row for 154 yards and 1 touchdown and single-handedly wiped out the Argos that night.
Well, what that does is it helps the coaching staff to forget about the drop. You have a night like that after the drop. They'll look past that one.
Sevilla near side. Thomas Haskins got a block. He averages 6.4 yards every time he runs with the ball, and he's a double threat guy without question.
The lead blocker on that play was Scott Flory. He's about 300 pounds and 6'5", and the lead block he wants to get is Marvin Coleman at 170 soaking wet. He's number 57 right there. Is going to fly out this way. Now watch when he does. Look at this matchup. 57 out in the open field, and Coleman doesn't know which way to go because he knows if he makes the wrong decision, he's going to take about 5 minutes or so to get around him. Look at Fleur. Now he's out there one-on-one in Marvin Coleman, and this is how that works. If he catches him, it's over for Coleman. If Coleman can use his feet and stay away from him, he's got a chance. It worked for about 8 yards, 9 yards for Flory. Third year out of Saskatchewan, plays right beside Big Neil Fort most of the time. That's 650 pounds between the two of them.
Second down, about a yard to go. Give it to your best back. Well, you got a lot of good backs in there. That's Hell.
Yeah. They do this a lot on short yardage. They take Mike Pringle and move him just sort of, he's the decoy in the short yardage play, and give it to Bruno Hippel. Pringle will take a step and go to the outside. He was just at the top left-hand side of your screen, and then you're hoping what you do is you influence a linebacker to take a step. Watch Pringle step this way, and what you're hoping is that the linebackers will honor that, and that'll open up the middle for Bruno Hippel on the short yardage.
Just over a minute to go in the opening half. It's the Alouettes on top by a touchdown. And Montreal continues to grind it out along the ground. Number 27, Mike Pringle there.
Well, the last two drives, John, we talked about it as the key for Montreal. Success on first down against the #1 ranked defense versus the run and the pass is important. And in their last two drives, that's what they're doing now. Saw the Thomas Haskins play, 9 yards on first down. This is Mike Pringle for 5.5, 6 yards. You're playing against the #1 ranked defense, and if you get in second and long, it's a long night.
Pringle grabbed 5. Alouettes at the Montreal 34. Calvillo looking deep. Davis brings it in. Full race. He's caught from behind. Marvin Coleman caught up, but a brilliant pass from Calvillo.
Marvin Coleman is having some problems with Tyree Davis right now. Tyree Davis came off the ball to the right of your screen, nothing fancy. He's done this 3 times in the game. One for a 61-yard touchdown. That was the first play. One that was about a yard away from a big completion, and then that one. That's the 3rd time. And he's again 2 yards in behind Coleman. And Coleman grabbed him early. You can see his shoulder pad hanging out of the jersey.
40-yard gain, 40 seconds till halftime. Shovel pass. Thomas Haskins actually slipped trying to make his cut. So with 33 seconds to go unofficially here in the first half, the Alouettes are very close to Baker's field goal range, but even into a breeze.
Yeah, and I was going to say probably another first down away from a field goal attempt just because of the wind. I mean, this is well within his range with no wind conditions.
4-yard gain, 2nd and 6. Calvillo, touchdown toss. Has he got it? Yes! A beautiful toss to Davis, his 2nd of the night. Anthony Calvillo has a hot hand right now.
Tyree Davis this time was matched up. I believe it was Raphael Ball on the opposite side of the field. And what he just said is that, hey, it's not Marvin Coleman. I'm just ready to run tonight. Because he is flat out running by people.
Suddenly a little quiet in here as the Alouettes pad the lead to 16-3. Tyree Davis has 2 touchdowns tonight, his first 2 touchdowns of the season.
Don't be surprised if in the second half Winnipeg doesn't try and match up Jerron Bolden on Tyree Davis. He's got the hot start, and that's what they've done throughout the year. Coming into the game, Winnipeg wasn't sure how to play Jerron Bolden. They were just going to play him in the normal position. But with the start that Tyree Davis has had, I wouldn't be surprised at all to see number 21 over there covering instead of Raphael Ball or Marvin Coleman.
That was a 32-yard reception for the touchdown. First play from the line of scrimmage tonight. This covered 61 yards.
4 yards in behind the coverage there, and then he had 2 other ones, another big one on this series and one earlier in this quarter that was just a yard away from about a 70-yarder.
Anthony Calvillo good on 10 of 18 for 207 yards and 2 touchdowns. Very much in control of this football game is Anthony Calvillo.
You know, in a couple of those big plays, Tyree Davis were into the wind for Calvillo, so he really strong-armed that football.
Want to do some second guessing? What about that Bombers' decision to not gamble on 3rd down and kick it back to Montreal? Alouettes take the ball, march, touchdown.
Well, now, you know, that's
17-3 is the score. I'm just asking if you wanted to second guess or not.
No. No, thanks.
Let's see what Charles Roberts can do for the Bombers into the final seconds of the opening half. This guy's got speed. Out to the 40, and only 7 seconds remaining.
Kahari Jones is going to have to go and regroup at halftime. He forced a couple of passes he probably would like back. Obviously, the one to Stephon Reed when Winnipeg with the win at the beginning of this quarter.
Should have been points from that drive.
Should have had points. They were inside the 20-yard line and threw it right to Stephon Reed. He almost had one intercepted by Mark Washington. Forced the ball a little bit in the first half of this game.
He's got all the tools, Kahari Jones, but still searching for confidence, some nights. Wrapped up and tossed down. First sack by the Alouettes, who have 12 on the season.
Swift Birch working on Mo Elawanibi off the corner. He's right here. And Mo Elawanibi wants to try and push him wide, but Birch cuts down the angle. He actually gets Mo late.
Well, Swift Birch was there.
Cuts
and
down
so
the
was
angle.
Jason Richards.
Yeah.
Is that a shared sack, or do you give it to Swift?
Who got there first?
Okay, that's his fourth then.
All right.
That's the opening half. The Alouettes exploded with a quick touchdown early and won almost into the final seconds for a rather comfortable lead at halftime. Another huge crowd in Winnipeg, but not much for Bomber fans to cheer about thus far. Here's Greg Musselman with the head coach.
Coach Ritchie, Montreal gets off to the fast start, and then they got the offense going late. Up until that point, though, you were hanging in there pretty good.
Yeah, we were fighting them up until this last series, really. You know, it was just figured that we'd punt it down in there and hold them down there and have them punt back in to the wind, and we'd have a chance in the doing it. It didn't work out that way, so we just got to come back and play.
Any adjustments for the second half in terms of trying to shut down Tyree Davis?
Well, it's not Tyree Davis, it's number 4. Number 4 is the player. He's making all the plays, and when they come into their tight formation, so we've made an adjustment against that, and we'll see what happens.
Okay, thanks, Dave Ritchie, and they'll try to slow down Thomas Haskins and the rest of the Montreal offense in that second half.
And we're underway with a 22-yard return from Charles Roberts.
Well, I would agree in some ways with Thomas Haskins having a bit of an impact in that first half with 54 yards net offense, 50 through the air, but Tyree Davis has 133 yards.
Yeah, 61-yard touchdown, a 32-yard touchdown, and a 40-yard reception to set up his second touchdown. That's an impact.
At what point does Tyree Davis become a concern? What has he got to get, 268 or something?
It'll be Bombers 1st and 10. Winnipeg beginning at the 42-yard line. Down by a couple of touchdowns. Jahari Jones as Jamie Stoddard for about 5. The ball come loose, and it did. So the Alouettes get the first break of the second half as well.
Jamie Stoddard was tackled on the opposite side of the field, right in front of the Montreal bench. It's going to be way to the left of your screen. Ball's thrown out in the flat. There's the tackle, and that ball comes out, it looks, just as Stoddard hits the ground. Now, does he have possession? No, that's out of there. Yep. That's a good call and a fumble.
The ground did not make him fumble that football. The tackler did.
Well, he didn't have control prior to hitting the ground, and that's the bottom line.
Stoddard doesn't like the call a bit. Neither do the Bombers, but the Alouettes will take it. With a 2-touchdown lead, Cavillo hands off to Mike Pringle. His best run of the night as he ran over 2 Bombers.
Oh, that was a hit from Tom Europe. My goodness. And Pringle got 3 more after it, but that was head-to-head. Helmet to helmet. Europe came from about 10 yards away, and now he's got to try and clear his head and find the signals on the sideline.
Pringle's longest of the night is 13 yards. Here are the Alouettes at the Bomber 29, first down. Pringle again, stop. Ball comes loose. Bombers are looking for it. Coming up with it. Tom Europe. And cut from behind. At the 36-yard line, huge play for Tom Europe to get it right back for Winnipeg.
Well, he comes off the big hit on Mike Pringle and comes up with a fumble recovery. And this is something that doesn't happen very often, as Pringle's going to put the ball on the ground. It's a hit from Seppa O'Reilly. Helmet to football that pops it out of there. Rylan Wickman had a crack, and Tom Europe picks it up in one hop and is gone.
Guess who made the tackle?
Tyree Davis.
You got it. That saved the touchdown, Tom Europe. as a big fumble return to give the Bombers a chance to get right back to even. 44 yards for Europe after scooping up the Pringle fumble. Outside the 35. First down, Winnipeg. Harry Jones steps up, gets the block, and still went down.
Milt Stiegel put on Kelly Wiltshire. Stiegel only got a couple more yards out of the play for his quarterback, but it was a nice block, and I think it's trying to send a message.
Stiegel and Wiltshire have been together for a dance or two.
Oh, he caught him this time. Harry takes off. So left your screen, there it is.
Gain is 2, 2nd and 8, Winnipeg. Jones with time, over the middle, on the money, Robert Gordon all the way down to the 2. Lost it into the end zone, but I think they'll rule it as dead outside the goal area. 31 yards to where Robert Gordon went down.
Wiltshire again involved in the hit, but this time Gordon absorbs it. He's coming right into the middle, and he knows he's going to get hit. He's up at the top of your screen. Watch him come into the middle, and number 1 comes over, puts a pretty good hit on him right there, but Gordon absorbs that hit, and then it's the ground that makes him fumble.
4 catches, 80 yards for Robert Gordon. Bombers set up inside the 5. Mills is in. Into the end zone. Troy Mills has the Bombers' first major. And we might as well have a little fun. We've come all this way.
Hey, he can't take off just yet. We don't leave till tomorrow. Good defense can oftentimes create offense. Seppo O'Reilly causes the fumble. Tom Europe picks it up, picks up some good yardage. And the result is Troy Mills crossing the goal line.
Back-to-back turnovers, and the Bombers take advantage of theirs and hit the Montreal end zone.
With Seppo O'Reilly with the big hit. Tom Europe the recovery. Troy Mills will get 6 beside his name statistically.
Robert Gordon with a 31-yard reception to set things up.
It's not a bad call. Prime Minister. Mo Alouettes slow to get off the field. Now you made me bring it up, the baby book. He wanted me to say hi to Sarah. She's 8 months pregnant back in Vancouver. So there, I've done it for Mo.
Now
the baby book is complete.
Something for Sarah to worry about with Big Mo being helped off the field.
Seppo O'Reilly causes the turnover. There's the one hop to Tom Europe. Now he stumbles, or he may run to the end zone. He stumbles right there. See that little stumble? Tyree Davis comes across and catches him, but it turns into the big touchdown.
Well, you know who forced him off balance was the quarterback, Cavillo.
Yeah, he did.
Took a lunge at him, at Tom Europe.
Well, you know Dave Ritchie gave them quite the pep talk at halftime.
Well, this could be a huge loss for the Blue Bombers if Alouettes can't come back into the game, because they'll have to make some shifts along that offensive line and don't have a pile of experience backing up Alouettes. Here's the touchdown. It's Troy Mills into the end zone. Bombers close within 7. Hey, pal, this is what it was like when I walked 5 miles to school into a north wind every day for 12 years growing up in Winnipeg. Only that was cold weather, and that was snow, not rain.
Uphill both ways in bare feet, right?
Uphill both ways with my sister Janice on my shoulders.
Yeah, okay. Well, it's coming down now, and the wind is picked up. Raincoats are on in the crowd, which means the running game for both teams becomes that much more important.
This one sails right past Durden and all the way through.
Well, it didn't take a whole lot of time for Kahari Jones to turn the Tom Europe fumble recovery into a touchdown. Just 3 plays. Final one, a 3-yard run to Troy Mills. Zeph O'Reilly caused that fumble when he put the helmet right on the football when Mike Pringle took off. Well, Lamar McGriggs may get his wish. Lamar McGriggs said, and I mentioned it earlier, I hope it rains because that means they'll run the ball, and I want them to run the football. So Lamar McGriggs, sometimes you get what you wish for.
A very stormy night all of a sudden in Winnipeg. The Alouettes lead it by a touchdown. Second half just nicely underway. First down, Montreal. And there's Mike Pringle. Bolden had him wrapped up and limits the game to less than 3.
Well, Jerron Bolden and Lamar McGriggs are roommates here in Winnipeg. They live together. So now they're combining to stop the run together. And I was talking with the two of them before the game, and I guess Lamar McGriggs is the chef in the household.
Well,
and
you got to have one of those.
Well, before every game, but he doesn't just do the shake and bake or whatever. This guy's a chef. Like today, they had a spinach lasagna. Now, I said, you actually, he says, oh yeah, I even got the apron.
Calvillo has a target far side. It'll be a Montreal first down. Davis steps out of bounds. What's for dessert?
Well, he makes the good desserts. And he says he has the guys over all the time. And this guy is a serious chef. And on the apron, it says, stay out of my kitchen. Now, if you go into a kitchen and Lamar McGriggs is cooking, you get out of the kitchen.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
If he wore that apron out here, there'd be guys staying away from him.
So Bolden is eating really well. He's loving it, and he doesn't go in the kitchen.
Completely understandable. First and 10, Alouettes. Pitch to Pringle. Nowhere to go. Pringle is down.
Bolden again. He got up high, though, and I think he got away with it. And I'm talking about, looked like it was close to a face mask.
Well, it did. From where he was tackled, Pringle, that is. Another look.
But Pringle was going down, so they gave him the benefit of the doubt. Look at this.
Well, not conclusive evidence on that.
Oh, Bolden fights off the block of Thomas Haskins to get there.
I don't think he grabbed the face mask.
No, he just
with Pringle going down, he actually got him around the neck, which was...
Well, he's had the good pregame dinner. He's fired up now.
Spinach lasagna.
Yeah, that was today.
Is there a post-game snack over there?
Mo Alouettes actually riding the bike right now. He has injured the lower part of his back, but says that he will be back out there. He's in a lot of pain, but he's a competitor. He's been there before, and I would expect Mo Alouettes back out there as an important part of that Bomber offensive line.
Well, Sarah will be happy to hear that.
Yeah.
Watching in Vancouver tonight.
Mike Pringle getting that calf looked at.
Talked about Rod Ross last week calling Pringle the Warrior. Dave Ritchie referred to him as the specimen.
Yeah.
I mean, he is chiseled. And Ritchie was in Montreal when Pringle was running for the Alouettes.
Huge down right here.
Second and a bunch. Second and 13 for Calvillo.
Look at the time.
He's got time but can't find anyone. He'll come up short of the first down. Davis was the target.
Great protection for Montreal. Anthony Calvillo had all day. You see Dave Donaldson coming on the blitz, but Bruno Heppel picks him up nicely right in the hole and doesn't allow him anywhere. That gives Calvillo plenty of time, but the coverage downfield, well, basically, the Winnipeg Blue Bomber secondary threw a blanket on those receivers.
Interesting here as Calvillo turns it over to Terry Baker. His first punt into an increased breeze. Roberts waits. Back near the Bomber 40.
Oh, baby. Was he drawn offside? Jerron Bolton has a knack for blocking kicks. He got a great start off the edge. Now, was he drawn?
Well, it's 3rd and 13. Bombers definitely got a quick start there from Bolden, but it won't.
Offside, Winnipeg, number 21. Still 3rd down.
Start to say it won't result in enough yardage for the Alouettes to get a first down because they needed a pile on 3rd and 13.
Most important thing for Winnipeg is to field the football. Don't let it hit the ground.
And Bomber returners have made that error already tonight. Baker gets it up and it hangs with a breeze. Roberts on the run. Not a bad return, out across the 40 to the 43. 9 on the return. Baker's punt, 37 yards into a stiff breeze in Winnipeg. Montreal's Tyree Davis is having a night, but it's a long way from over in spite of the fact that he has a couple of touchdown catches.
First play of the game when Anthony Calvillo had the wind at his back. He hits Davis, and you think he can't do it into the wind? This is going the opposite way.
1 to begin the first quarter, 1 to end the second, and the Alouettes have the advantage by a touchdown at 17-10. The Bombers are 1st and 10. Kahari Jones, far side. He'll come up with a first down.
Mo Eluanimi gave it a try, John. He's coming off the field now. But that blitz there picked up by Stephon Reed on the blitz, picked up by Eric Blunt, gave Kahari Jones time to throw the football.
And Robert Gordon makes another catch, playing his 2nd game since returning to the Bombers.
Watch Eric Blunt step over to the right. There's the blitz coming by Stephon Reed. Turn back.
14 for Gordon, first down for Winnipeg, just inside Montreal territory. At the 52, this is Blunt. Nowhere to go, and a flag comes from the Bomber backfield. The indication is holding against the Bombers.
Mike Abumetric will come into the game for Mo Eluanimi. And that time, the Winnipeg offense ran away from Eluanimi's side, or where he would be playing, with him on the sideline.
Holding, Winnipeg, number 60. First down repeated.
Mike Sutherland get called on the holding. That's Mike Abumetric, who's in the game for Mo Eluanimi. Gave it a shot for one play and came right off the field.
First and 20.
Here they come.
You can expect the charge. Mills has it, looks for a block. Good play by Troy Mills to get the yardage he did get back to the original line of scrimmage.
Again, it was Stephon Reed. He lined up in the middle of the formation, then moved to the outside and came on the blitz, and this time he was straight free, but it's a good call. There's Reed right there. He started in this area and then comes off the corner. He's free and unblocked, but it's a perfect call for that kind of defense. Dump it off on the screen and let my back in the open field do something with it.
2nd and 10. Well, maybe just a little bit more than 10. Kahari Jones, good defensive play. Gordon was the target. And Eric Riddick went over his shoulder and knocked it away.
Well, he had Robert Gordon open, and he probably mentioned to Robert Gordon, make sure you step back to the football. Just take one more step back, and you may stop Eric Riddick from getting around you and knocking that one down. There's offensive coordinator Rick Warman.
Calling all the plays for Kahari Jones. Cameron with a breeze. Nails it down to the 10. Davis turns it into a 5-yard return after a 43-yard punt. Alouettes have the lead, and they'll have the ball. There you go, folks. You're on TV. Noisy place, this Winnipeg Stadium, when they fill up the joint.
Well, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers doing a nice job of getting run support from everybody in the defense. This was heading into the game. Their secondary led the team in tackles, Jerome Bolden and Marvin Coleman. And so far in this game, the secondary leads the team as well. 11 tackles from them, 10 from the front seven.
Alouettes first down. Nice catch right over the middle. Second of the night for Jock Climby. And that'll move the yardsticks.
Well, I'll say one thing for Montreal. They've had to work for what they've got. I guarantee you that, because Jock Climby had coverage all over him. Made the great catch. Tyree Davis, second touchdown. He had coverage all over him. Raphael Ball. They're working for it.
You can barely hear buzz. First and 10 Alouettes. And Pringle has 4 bombers on him. Did the ball come loose? It did, but they ruled it down.
See the gang tackling, John? 6 of them over there.
Well, Mike Pringle briefly came out the game there earlier in the last downs, but he apparently is okay. He did have a little bit of a hyperextension on the left knee, and at first he said he was very concerned about that, which you can understand, but he kind of shook it off, and he's back out there, and it's been a tough night for him. He's taken some pretty big hits in there. Back up to John and Glenn.
He's had no success to the outside tonight.
This is 2nd and 9. Calvillo to his right. Almost intercepted. Climby was the target, and there were 3 bombers in the area.
Jerome Bolden had the best shot at it. Jock Climby trying to recognize what coverage he's got, and he sees now it's man-to-man, and guess who he has covering him? The best cover guy Winnipeg has. Stride for stride. Jerome Bolden can make up so much ground with his great stride.
So Baker into the wind, standing at his own 15. Charles Roberts. And he's surrounded and dropped rather quickly. The return about 5. 1st and 10 Winnipeg when we return. Bombers begin at their 40, trailing by a touchdown. Nice fake. Complete first down out at midfield.
Oh, they just keep battling, don't they? Milt Stiegel and Kelly Wilshire. Stiegel will often be the 3rd receiver in, and that puts him in matchups with the linebackers. One of those linebackers is Kelly Wilshire, and the 2 of them, well, let's put it this way, they're not best buddies.
No, they are not. Going back to the final game last season when both got tossed out of Molson Stadium in Montreal, Stiegel and Wilshire. To Harry Jones on the money again. We'll see where they spot this. Robert Gordon makes another catch.
That was the difference, John. Robert Gordon fought hard back to the football. Remember that one in the last series where he stood there waiting on it? It was knocked down by Eric Reddick. This time, he went over and talked to the coaching staff. We saw Rick Warman in conversation with both Kahari and Robert Gordon. He says, come back. That extra step means the difference between a catch and an incompletion.
And by making it, he has another Winnipeg first down at the 45 of Montreal. Jones won't get it away. Wrapped up and tossed to the turf right at midfield. 2nd sack by the Alouettes.
It's a coverage sack. They're called coverage sacks. It means when the coverage downfield is executed perfectly, sooner or later the front 4 is going to get there.
Tito Hanna has his 4th of the season.
And remember, Winnipeg Blue Bombers are down an offensive lineman, a starter in Mo Eluanibi. Tito Hanna just didn't treat Kahari Jones with any respect, did he?
None whatsoever. 2nd and a whole bunch facing Jones here. And he one-hopped it to the far side looking for Arlen Bruce III.
Jason Richards, he's going to get pressure this time. There he is right there. Straight up the field. Really, Mike Sutherland didn't have a whole lot of chance. That's just good speed rush, using his hands to keep Sutherland off him. All of a sudden, the big boys are turning it up a little bit in the middle. Tito Hanna, Jason Richards.
Cameron is in, Durden awaits. This is a beaut.
Oh, is it ever?
Davis fielding it inside the 5. And a huge ovation for special teams tackling at Winnipeg Stadium. Great to see this ballpark full again.
It has been some fun. A sellout, the second one this year. September 8th versus Hamilton. They'll be back at home. Well, it's fun when this stadium is full. They're going crazy here tonight.
The number to call for tickets for the next Blue Bomber home action, of course, next week. The Bombers at Taylor Field. It must be Labor Day. I haven't heard a stadium this noisy this year.
No. And we've been to Montreal once.
Pringle made the catch, sliding out of the backfield. The Bombers reacted and held him short of a first down.
John Pringle was getting most of his yardage, and it hasn't been a whole lot tonight up the middle. He outside running the football, he's been pretty much shut down. So one way to get him outside is to just flare him out of the backfield and then throw him the football. And Dave Donaldson lost his head. He lost his head in the tackle. He's got it back. He's okay. Better buckle up your chin strap.
I would say so. Second and 3 after Pringle got 7, batted down, and then caught by an Alouette, but short of the first down. Not so sure who got the ball. Was he eligible?
Thomas Haskins.
Yes, eligible receiver.
Thomas Haskins is going to run the pick play. Tim Fleiser gets his hand on the football. You know, and why Winnipeg was so disappointed was because an interception there gives them the ball on the 18-yard line. You know, now they are going to get the football back, but Terry Baker's put a couple into the wind deep.
Now the Bombers will get the ball back with the wind, however, for a final few seconds.
Now do they give up a safety here, standing on the goal line with a 7-point game?
No, not this time. Baker into the breeze, not bad. Got a little heat from Bolden. Roberts looks for room. And a huge block there. And then Roberts is dragged down by Tito Hanna with a devastating tackle.
Oh,
baby.
Marcus Howell.
Yes, what a block.
Well, Roberts going to take it, try to set up the wall return. Watch 82 come from the right of your screen, right there.
Just got in front to make it legal, and then Tito Hanna responded and
Tim
made the
Fleiser,
tackle.
look at this. Here he comes. 82 on Tim Fleiser. That's called the decleater.
From the 51, Winnipeg first down. 23 seconds left with the win for the Bombers. Little pitch there, Blunt bobbled it, got it again. And he'll turn it into about a 3-yard gain. A little danger down there. A little option play. Blount had trouble.
Nice option play, but let's take one more look at the hit, can we? The receivers are getting involved on special teams. Marcus Howell with a nice little hit on Tim Fleiser, who outweighs him by about 60.
Barring a penalty, this will be the last play of the third quarter. Bombers with the wind at their backs, trailing by a touchdown, looking at 2nd and 6 to Harry Jones. Penalty flags go down, and Jones has a first down, but this might be holding, and it might be coming back.
Slowly in this game, the Montreal Alouettes are starting to win the battle up front. And I'm talking more defensively against the Winnipeg offense than offensively. This time, full pressure from Montreal. Stephon Reed going. Look out, here comes Kahari. Look out, man, look out. Whoa.
Holding, Winnipeg, number 68.
If you would have had the 3D glasses on right there, that would have really scared you.
I'll tell you what, you would have spilt the popcorn for sure.
But they're starting to break down up front a little bit. That's the Winnipeg offensive line. Full credit to the boys up front for Montreal. That's Swift Birch, but get the 3D goggles on. Here he comes. Game happens awful fast when you're down there on field level.
Quarter can't end on a penalty, so there's time for one more. A little draw play. Charles Roberts, this is brilliant. Charles Roberts heading to the end zone. Does he have the speed? Not quite. Yes, he's in. They're signaling touchdown. Flag down back near the 40, but that was an absolutely sensational 57-yard run. That's the greatest I've seen this season.
And it was a gutsy call to go with the draw on second and a bunch. And I think it's going to come back. What a play. And it may not count.
Holding, Winnipeg, number 50. Second down, repeat.
Well, everybody's taking a turn at holding along that Bomber offensive line. Watch this again, even though it doesn't count.
Well, a great, exciting run. It was Mike Sutherland on the holding call that's going to bring it back. He was blocking on Stephon Reed, who is the middle linebacker. He's going to step up, and here it is. Watch here the matchup right there in the middle of your screen. That's the holding call. Mike Sutherland turns Stephon Reed right around.
Well, what works on second and 26? We'll try this final play of the third quarter one more time. Screen pass. Blunt needs 26 for a first down. He too gets hammered. But he's back to the original line of scrimmage. Some solace there. Great emotion. Great football. It's the Alouettes on top by a touchdown.
Makes the tackle in the hole. This is a call that has to be made. I know the Winnipeg Blue Bomber fans obviously upset with this call, but if Mike Sutherland does not hold Stephon Reed, he makes the tackle, or at least is right in the hole to stop or slow down Charles Roberts.
First play, fourth quarter, Bombers punting into the wind. Reggie Durden surrounded, there's nowhere to go. Interesting thought, should they have kicked, punted with the wind on the final play, third quarter, on second and 26.
Well, you see the game is so close. Statistically, I think it's a good idea. Second and 26 is a hope and a prayer. You got the wind at your back for one more play, and you know it's the last play. Maybe you punt on second down. Now, Richie, I won't say got lucky because he's got the best punter into the wind in Bob Cameron, but he turns around and he gets a great kick out of Cameron, so it makes his decision to try it one time on second and 26 look okay.
Alouettes have the ball, and they lead by a touchdown. Fourth quarter, just getting underway. Little play action fake and over the middle. First catch for Alexander, Kevin Alexander.
Well, this is why Winnipeg defensively had problems deciding where they wanted to play Jerron Bolden, because there's so much balance in the Montreal receiving corps. You take away Jock Climby inside, they got Tyree Davis. They got Kevin Alexander on the opposite side. And Ben Cahoon's not bad himself.
No, Cahoon had a great time last week. Alexander's first catch of the night, a 22-yarder. Pringle. Wow. straight ahead. The other guy you got to talk about here when you look at the receiving core and the running core is Thomas Haskins.
Yeah, well, he does it all.
He does it all, yeah.
He'll play inside, he'll play wide receiver. Once again, Mike Pringle getting most of his production tonight up the middle, just 10 yards to the outside when he's running the football. He hasn't had a huge game, but when he has had success, it's been right down Main Street.
Second down, heat's on, no catch made near side. We'll check the infraction as Cavillo couldn't hook up with Tyree Davis. Now the Alouettes seem somewhat happy about this.
Offside, Winnipeg, number 9, second down repeat.
Cepha O'Reilly. So all of a sudden it's second and short.
Yeah, you know, on the snap of the ball, it looked clean. So Cepha O'Reilly had to line up offside inside that 1 yard neutral zone.
Huge call, isn't it? They're looking at second and 1, and they've got Pringle and Heppel in the backfield. Appel gets the call that time and gets the first down.
Well, when you need a first down and it's only 1 or 2 yards, why not run behind Neil Fort, who's going to just come down here and do his thing? It's Brian Clark. Now, not only did Brian Clark get hit in the hole, but Fort ended up lying on top of him.
Nice fake. Nice throw. Alexander was the target, couldn't catch up.
You got Jerome Bolden out there on him. You know, and if I'm Anthony Calvillo, and I know he's throwing the football exactly where his read may take him, but if I'm Anthony Calvillo, I'm going away from 21. Where's 21? I'm throwing the other side.
Well, the Owls aren't sitting on this lead. They're throwing the football. Cavillo on second down. Bolden was not in the area that time. It was Raphael Ball.
Yeah, this is a drop ball. Tyree Davis came across the middle, and this is a ball I thought he should have caught. It looked like Raphael Ball slipped and went down. He did get all tangled up in Davis's feet. This is the end of the play here. That ball is right in the breadbasket. I don't think Raphael Ball got his hand in there. But he'll take it. It goes down as an incompletion.
So Terry Baker in again, kicking with the breeze at his back. There's Charles Roberts. What a great run he had a few moments ago. Roberts to return. Needs a block. Bulldog to the ground by Marvin Coleman. 14 on the return, a 56-yard punt. Bombers have the ball. First down when we come back. Run to win. Some nights it really works well.
Well, with 11:25, I don't think Rick Warman has to abandon it. When you look at the 5 wins for the Bombers, as a team, they rush for 131 per game. In the 2 losses, it drops below 100. They're at 39 yards rushing tonight. That's closer to the loss column than it is to the win column. They need to keep with the running game, even though they're behind by 7.
From the 15, Winnipeg first down. Charge is on. Jones got rid of it. And Mills makes the catch and stumbles.
You know, Brandon Dyson is quietly getting a reputation throughout the league as one of the dirtier players in the game. Here he is right here. He's working one-on-one. Little elbow there, turns around. Now the play is over. Let's find a guy. A little shot there. Nothing too bad there, but we'll keep an eye on him.
Oh, that was a pillow fight push.
Nothing wrong there. I like the way he looked up a guy after the play was over, though.
Second and 2. This will be a first down. Mills escapes. He's out to the 40.
Run to win, baby. You don't want to abandon it. You don't want to abandon the running game. Last week versus the Hamilton Tiger Cats, it was a running play. Let's take one more look now at Brandon Dyson. Working on Filion there. And here's another look at the running play. It opens up nicely to the right side. Mike Sutherland making a nice block at the point of attack. Away they go.
First rush for the Bombers in the second half. There's the second. Mills straight ahead.
Get back to that point versus Hamilton last week. Eric Blunt ripped off a 40-yard run in the last drive that was the winning drive for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Even though it looks like a desperate situation down by 7 in the fourth, the running game keeps the defensive line off balance, and you can see how Dave Ritchie and Rick Warman are continuing to implement this even though they're down by 7.
2nd and 6. Jones can't find anyone. Now to Blunt. Yes. Bomber first down.
Brandon Dyson and Ed Filion have been in a brawl all game long. And it doesn't end here. Watch 75. Working on 59. Brandon Dyson doing his job within the rules. Got his hand up in the face a little bit. Now Filion's pulling on his face mask. Dyson thinks about the right hook. Decides not to. The game's within the game. Ed Filion and Brandon Dyson. That's a game that you don't want any part of.
Both can play it a little bit nasty without question. A touchdown between these two in a battle for first in the CFL East.
Look at this last play one more time. This is Kahari Jones with his legs buying some time to the outside. Ed Filion's getting ready for round 10. Step into the ring with Brandon Dyson, 2 heavyweights throwing blows.
Alouettes head coach Rod Rust was born in Webster City, Iowa, 73 years ago. So who else comes from Webster City, Iowa?
Well, you got me there.
Coach of the 1989 Grey Cup champions, Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Is that right?
John Gregory, an Iowa barnstormer.
Now down in arena football.
This began at the 15. 4 plays later, they're out across midfield. Early movement. Is that Filion? No, Tito Hanna.
This offside is caused by Kahari Jones changing up his snap count. He's going to come from the top of the screen.
Offside, Montreal, number 69.
I've been listening from up here. Kahari Jones, over the 4 plays of this drive, has gone on what's called first sound, or the first sound that he makes when he comes over the center. That time he changed it up and he went on 3. The 3rd sound, he said. Tito Hanna had been getting used to that first sound and got a good takeoff.
More options on 1st and 5. Nice pass. Wonderful catch at the 20. Robert Gordon again.
First of all, it starts with time. When the running game is working for you, it gives your quarterback time. Watch the time that Kahari Jones has. Look at the protection set up, and the throwing lane is there for him. And then it's just a tremendous catch as Bob Gordon goes up and catches it at the highest point.
Loftus and Irv Smith collide down there, making the tackle.
You think they're happy to have him back? And Irv Smith's going to go out for 3 plays.
Well, penalty against the Alouettes. Moves the Bombers down to the 10.
This drive has been set up, John, by balance. The running game combined with throwing the football.
The Bombers, 1st and goal to go. Alouettes 10. Winnipeg trailing by 7. Jones looks to the end zone. Under the cover, yes. And guess who? Milt Stegall. Testing 1, 2, 3. Can you hear us? Winnipeg Stadium alive as the Bombers tie it up with the Montreal Alouettes.
The running game, I mentioned it through this series, sets things up, and it does on this one as well.
Stegall has the tying touchdown. 7:51 remain.
Milt Stegall starts on this side of the field and will go all the way across the formation. He travels a whole bunch of distance. Look at this. All the way across the other hash mark and catches it right near the sideline on the opposite side of the field. To do that, you have to have time to throw the football.
All even. Under 8 minutes to go. Two fired-up football teams.
John, if you're going to go like Milt Stegall did from one hash mark to another, you have to get blocks from up front. And look at the blocks that Kahari Jones will get. Steagall's on his way across the field. He's got tons of time. Now he gets hit after he throws, but by then, Milt Stegall has got that touchdown dance going that he has with the rest of the receivers.
7 plays, 95 yards. Stegall makes the 10-yard catch for his 7th touchdown of the season. Alouettes 1st and 10 at the 35. Nowhere to run.
Nowhere to hide.
Nowhere to hide. That's Wayne Weathers celebrating down there.
Wayne Weathers, backup defensive lineman for this team, coming in for Anoki Brechterfield, who left early. And he just plugs the hole, plain and simple.
Game on, partner. 2nd down. 10 to go, Alouettes. Calvillo has Climby, clutch catch, ball loose. Bombers have it. Touchdown run for Coleman. Can he get there? Calvillo has a beat on him and makes the tackle.
The Winnipeg Blue Bombers right now, offensively and defensively, are playing with an extra player. They got 13 out there because the crowd here is unbelievable. A great move by Jock Climby to get open. He just doesn't hang on to the football. Dave Donaldson strips it out of there.
Coleman picks it up. 41 yards. Calvillo over to make the tackle.
Climby had opened up nicely inside. Had first down territory. If he just went down, he tried to put his hand down and get a couple extra yards, and that's when the ball comes out. But the Bombers are playing with an extra man. They have home field advantage on their side in a big way right now.
Rough play after the fact by the Bombers. And they take this one back, making it a net return of 22.
This crowd is unbelievable.
Winnipeg 1st down inside the 20 of the Alouettes. Eric Blunt, and not much space for him.
Keep the running game involved. No question about that, especially when you're in plus territory, which means in Montreal's end of the field. Field goal puts you ahead in this game.
Alouettes do have the wind, although it has died down a little bit in the latter stages here of the 2nd half. 2nd and 6 Bombers. Jones with time, end zone toss. Penalty flags all over. Yes, sir, they should be. Arland Bruce III was the target, and there was a mugging in the end zone.
Reggie Durden had come in as the extra defensive back and had gone out there to cover one-on-one on Arland Bruce III. He didn't have to grab him. Here he is right here. He's going to run the post pattern into the inside. Now the ball is thrown outside. Now he didn't have to grab him right there because that ball was overthrown.
Montreal, number 30. First down.
Could he have run under this football? You see the right hand all over the jersey. Reggie Durden hasn't had a whole lot of reps as a defensive back. He's primarily been their returner.
He's listed as the 7th defensive back. In the Alouette scheme of things, he's been used on special teams, a return guy.
Irv Smith was injured in the last series.
Irv Smith collided with William Loftus making a tackle. First and goal to go. The Bombers are at the Alouette 7. Mills has 1 touchdown and only a couple of yards there. Still lots of time for the Bombers to score and the Alouettes to respond with 5:09 on the clock.
Take one more look at this penalty. There he is right there. That's Arland Bruce III. Could he have reacted and caught this football had he not been grabbed by Reggie Durden? Awful close.
I think he might have had a chance because he was actually stalled by Durden.
Well, they got half the distance though, which means it's incidental contact, not pass interference.
2nd down, goal to go. Bombers at the 5. Jones for the touchdown. Bruce can't make the catch. There's a flag down in the Bomber backfield.
Arland Bruce tried to come underneath. Gahari Jones didn't have a whole lot of room to throw it in there.
Necessary roughness, Winnipeg, number 67. Unnecessary roughness, Montreal, number 90. 2nd down repeated.
Oh, boy. Gives him another crack at it. Right at the top of your screen, that's number 90. He gets the late hit, Swift Birch, and then Mike Abumetric takes him second.
Yeah, the retaliation, right?
The retaliation, but they get another chance at it.
2nd and goal to go. Bombers just outside the Alouette 5. It's all even, folks. 17-17. Jones back of the end zone. Touchdown. It's Stiegel.
Look at the time for Gahari Jones. You know where he wants to go. Number 85, that's where.
2 touchdowns for Milt Stiegel, 3 touchdowns for the Bombers in the 2nd half. Mills, Stiegel, and Stiegel. Winnipeg has the lead with 4:04 to play. Stiegel has 2 touchdowns. The Bombers have the lead.
Defensive coordinator Rod Russ changed things up. That's Washington right there. He's going to try and drop Milt Stiegel off to the deep coverage guy, which is William Loftus. Montreal playing a zone defense down on their goal line, something you don't see very often, but Rod Russ thought the changeup might help. Milt Stiegel took advantage of it.
The heavens have opened up again. Turf will be a little slicker all of a sudden. Just over 4 minutes to go. The Alouettes are trailing for the first time tonight. But look at this run by Gurdon, who had trouble in the end zone moments ago. Whipped out of bounds by Troy Westwood. I love it. I love it.
Oh, man. Well, this is the type of game that we expected.
He got some good blocks and couldn't get away from number 7. So Anthony Calvillo gets a chance to respond.
Now the crowd becomes that much more of a factor because Calvillo will have problems audibling at the line of scrimmage with the crowd.
There's the heat. Calvillo will lose 1. Got it away down to the 20-yard line.
Well, he was so close to the line of scrimmage, which was bang on the 45-yard line.
Now Pringle ended up with the ball. Was Calvillo over the line? No flags? I guess not.
Look at the line of scrimmage right on the 45. Calvillo avoids the rush from Lamar McGriggs. He's at center. He's at the 50, 40. No, he gets rid of it just before that foot comes down over the line.
Alouettes have a chance to get even inside the 20. First down. Nice fake by Calvillo. Nice toss. Inside the 5. Davis has another key reception. This thing is going to be even. You're going to hang around?
I'll be around, yeah.
Feeling a little like overtime. Great night in Winnipeg on Wendy's Friday Night Football. Well, we have a moment. Here's the game story brought to you by SportCheck.ca, Canada's choice for sporting goods. You're on.
Couple of touchdowns from Tyree Davis. He may not be done yet. Mike Pringle again held in check by the #1 defense in the league, stopping the run. Stiegel a couple of TDs, and the Bombers with the big fourth quarter. They've done it all year.
Alouettes, though, with a chance to tie it here. Down to the 1. First and goal to go from about the 4. Bruno Happel got the call.
Well, Rod Rust obviously not only has to tie this football game, but he wants to take as much time as he can to do it. 2:40 left in the game right now. That's plenty of time for Kahari Jones. You mentioned the wind has basically died down. It was in the face of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, but it's not much of a factor now.
Now from the 2, goal to go from there. Not this time. Not this time. The Bomber defense is held.
Lamar McGriggs, right after the play, motioned to the bench and said, kick a field goal, because that's all you're going to get. So the talking continues. Point of attack is plugged. And right after the play, Lamar McGriggs went over and motioned to the sideline, Montreal sideline, go ahead and kick the field goal because you're not scoring a touchdown.
3rd and goal to go. Couple of cracks at it. This is the last chance for the Alouettes to get even. Calvillo won't get in. Wrapped up. Wrapped up. Sefa O'Reilly comes up with a huge play. And the Bombers defense holds.
John, when you plug the middle, 2 plays in a row, I think the Winnipeg defense talked Montreal into a slow developing play that didn't have a chance. Here's what happened on 2nd down. You're going up the middle on 2nd down. You're just 1.5 yards away, but it's plugged. That's the 2nd play in a row they tried the middle. So they talk him out of it, and they say, okay, go ahead and try the outside.
And this wasn't a wise choice.
You don't have a chance out there. Sefa O'Reilly shut the door.
Well, you said you wanted to talk about number 9 a couple of times tonight.
Well, he's just doing such a nice job and has been all year long. Not a big guy, but he has tremendous strength and great quickness, and he showed it on that play.
2:10 to burn off the clock for the Bombers, who have a 24-17 lead after trailing by 2 touchdowns at halftime. Now, this isn't over yet by any stretch.
Nowhere near. You know, and now Dave Ritchie, depending on what happens, he doesn't get anything on this next down, okay? Now he's looking at Bob Cameron standing in his end zone to punt the football, which automatically gives Montreal good field position. But if you're giving up the safety, you're giving up the chance. You're giving Montreal the opportunity to win the game with a touchdown. See what I'm saying?
I understand. That becomes 9 points. Long toss, far side. A foot too far. Intended for Robert Gordon.
So now the scenario is created. What will Dave Ritchie decide? Robert Gordon just trying to run straight by Eric Reddick down the sideline, and you're right, it was just a few inches too far for him. So Dave Ritchie will talk to the veteran in Bob Cameron, who's been around a little bit. He knows what to do in this situation, what the best call will be. We'll see what they decide now. Basically, if Cameron kicks it out of his own end zone, Montreal takes possession
at about the 40-45.
And that's with no return. If they get any kind of return, you know, they're knocking on the door to tie this game. But if you give up 2, you have to give Montreal the football, and now a major wins it for the Alouettes. And the wind, even though it's died a little bit, is still in the face of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. So big. This is why, you know, we'll stay right up here and let the head coaches make these kind of decisions.
Oh, yeah, and then just second guess them every once in a while. It's a perfect vantage point, isn't it? Cameron is in the end zone. Durden is back near the 40.
Gonna give it up. All right. Well, and the other factor that you have to think of here with Dave Ritchie's decision is that Reggie Durden had just ripped off the big run on the last one, on the kickoff. So he's going to give up the 2.
Give up the 2. Alouettes can win it with a touchdown. They'll get the ball right back after the safety given up by the Bombers. Golf tomorrow afternoon on CTV Coast to Coast Senior PGA Tour. Currently underway in Mississauga at the Credit Valley. 2 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow.
I got to start. I'm going to plan. There's the leaderboard for you. I'm going to plan your sports day tomorrow. You're going to relax with a little golf in the morning.
Yep.
Everybody whispers then, so you can even snooze part of the way through it if you'd like. Just watch the golf. You'll enjoy that. And then we got a little football for you after.
A doubleheader, in fact.
Exactly.
What a great night in Winnipeg. It's wonderful to see this place full again. 2 sellouts so far this season. The Alouettes have sold out the joint both times. What's interesting, Winnipeg Stadium has not been sold out for 7 years until the Alouettes arrived here week 3. And this is the second battle between these 2 teams for top spot in the East.
Well, Anthony Calvillo will have about 1:30, depending on what happens on this return, to go for that winning major.
Bombers lead it 24-19. Deep kick. The wind has died a little bit. This is Reggie Durden. $17 on the return. Sports desk with all the highlights of this and everything else that happened today. Coming up as soon as we're done here with Dutch and Dan. Hey, great young fans here in the front row. Good seats. By the way, still a few tickets available for the Grey Cup in Montreal. But when I say a few, I mean a few. Ticats have the lead on the Eskimos, 17-4 in the 4th. We're a minute 32 away from the final gun here in Winnipeg. Calvillo on first down. Escapes. He'll get it. Out to the 40-yard line, a couple shy of a first down.
John, if you're a starting quarterback in any league, anywhere, this is a situation you want to be in. The one Anthony Calvillo's in. The ball in his hands, minute and a half to go. The field to drive. This is where legends are built.
Bombers fell behind by halftime and roared back. Calvillo got it away. Cahoon makes the catch. First down, Montreal. This drive continues now in Winnipeg territory.
Minute 10 now. Anthony Calvillo will be in the hurry up, and I'm really surprised that the crowd here is so quiet. He's got to call the plays on the line of scrimmage. The last series, he couldn't do that. All of a sudden, they're on the edge of their seat. Now, I don't blame them.
Minute 10 to go. Alouettes need a touchdown to win. A field goal is no good to them at this stage. Calvillo on the money, down to the 30, and he threaded the needle there.
Look at the composure from Anthony Calvillo.
Kevin Alexander, no catches in the first half, a couple of big ones in the second.
I just can't put words to the pressure that is on Anthony Calvillo right now. Chance to win the football game. He knows Winnipeg's coming after him, and he is calm as he could be.
1st and 10 at the 30. Calvillo looks to the end zone, not quite. Couldn't hook up with Jock Climby. Tight coverage supplied by Donaldson. Dave Donaldson with Climby step for step. 2nd and 10, 48 seconds to go.
And of course, it's 3 down football for Calvillo, no question about that. So he's got 2 more in 2nd and 10. He's put together a nice night. But this is where you have to get the label of winning quarterback. This is where you get it in situations just like this.
Typical of these two teams. The Alouettes scored early, and the Bombers roared back. Well, the match continues for another 48 seconds with the Alouettes still having an opportunity to win. Under the coverage, Pringle is hammered. Absolutely hammered.
But it did give him a chance. Pringle comes out of the backfield. Harold Nash puts the big hit on him. But it gives Calvillo a better chance in 2nd and 5. He's got 42 seconds left to get it done for Montreal.
Yeah, but they've got one play now because Pringle is well short of the 1st down. This is 3rd and 6. Game is on the line. Calvillo, can he get it away? No. Huge plays by the Bomber defense. The Bomber defense, a goal line stand.
John, Harold Nash from the secondary is coming on the blitz. Dave Ritchie deciding to go aggressively at Calvillo in the most important play of the football game. Send the pressure. 9 times since Dave Ritchie left Montreal, he has played his old team. 8 regular season, 1 playoff, and to date he had managed just 2 wins.
Well, this is huge for Dave Ritchie and for the Bombers because Winnipeg takes over top spot in the CFL East while both teams have 6-2 records. The Bombers slipped just slightly ahead of Montreal by virtue of a 24-19 victory compared to a 3-point victory by Montreal in week 3. So we're talking percentages here. But the Bombers are 6-2. The Alouettes have lost their 2nd game. Look forward to September 23rd.
Yeah.
Winnipeg at Montreal. Can you get there for that one?
Well, I'll tell you what. That'll be a tough ticket to get. Winnipeg and Montreal, round 3. And the fans are coming on the field.
Well, they should celebrate a little something here. That was a hard-fought victory for the Blue Bombers. It looked a little bleak after the first half.
What a game.
But the Alouettes don't give up easily.
2 good football teams battling out. Can't get much better than that.
There's a tie for first in the CFL East. The Alouettes and the Bombers are both 6-2.